Hello and welcome to this Excel tips video. I'm Sumit Bansal, and in this video I'm going to show you 5 really cool Excel keyboard and mouse tricks, which means that you would need to use the keyboard as well as the mouse to get these done. So let's get started. So here I have this data set, and what I want to do is move this range of cells, the one that I've highlighted in orange, below this orange range of cells here. So I want to move row 4, not the entire row, just this range of cells below this one. Now, if I'm doing this the usual method, then I would first come here, I would insert a row here, then I would copy this data, paste it here, and then I would come back and delete this. But let me show you a faster way to do this. So you first select this range of cells that you want to shift or move, then you hold the shift key on your keyboard and then you bring your cursor to the edge of this selection. So you see what happens as soon as I bring the cursor to this edge, my cursor changes into this 4 pointed arrows icon. Now I would simply press the left mouse key and drag this, and while I'm doing this you can see this thick green line, and while I'm dragging this I would wait till I get to the point where this is a horizontal thick green line where I want this to be moved. So now here it says it is going to move this to A9 to D9, and now I would leave the mouse button key and instantly it is going to shift the data. Let me show you again. Let me press Ctrl Z. I would first select this data. I would come here at the edge, hold the shift key and then press this and bring this down. And as soon as I do this, it is going to move these cells right where I leave the mouse button. Now you can also do this with the column data. So instead, let's say here I want to move data 1 and I want to move this after data 3. I select this, I hold the shift key, bring the cursor to the edge, drag, and when I have this thick vertical line where I want this data, I would leave the mouse key and instantly this data would be moved. Now, one of the great things about this method is that this is not going to impact anything outside of this range. So in this case, if I select and move only these range of cells, then anything which is to the right or which is to the bottom will not be affected. So if you have a report that has a lot of data, you can still use this method. Now, just the way we have moved rows and columns, we can also copy rows and columns. So here I have the same data set, and in this case, I don't want to move these cells below this orange one. I want to actually create a copy of these cells. So to do that, I would hold the Control and the Shift key, not just the Shift key, Control and the Shift key. Bring the cursor here to the edge. You'll see that now the cursor changes into this plus icon. So I have the cursor and a small plus icon. I don't know if you can see this or not. And then I would do the same thing. I would click the left mouse button and drag this down, and again I see this thick line and I would drop it where I want the copy of these cells. So see what happens as soon as I leave the mouse button key, it creates a copy of this and all the cells below these would be shifted one cell below it. Similarly, if you want to create a copy of the column, you select this, hold the Control and the Shift key, bring the cursor to the edge, drag this to the right where you want this data to be copied, and leave the mouse cursor, and as soon as you do this you can see an exact copy of this data range has been created, and whatever data is here on the right would be shifted one column to the right. The third trick that I want to show you is to quickly copy worksheets in Excel. So here I have this worksheet with the name copy sheet, and I don't have any data in this, but in your case you would have something that you want to create a copy for. And the fastest way to create a copy of any worksheet is to simply come here to the worksheet tab, hold the Control key and then press the left mouse button key and drag this towards the worksheet, somewhere in the worksheet. And while you're doing this, you would see there is this black triangle, inverted triangle right here in the close to the name of these worksheet tabs. This is the position where this new sheet would be copied. So you see when I move it, and let's say I want it to be at the beginning, I bring it here, you see this black inverted arrow, and I leave the mouse click, and as soon as you do that, it is going to create a copy here. Similarly, if you want to create a copy again and you want it at the end, you simply come here to the tab, hold the Control key, click and drag this to the end and leave it. Now, one really cool thing that I want to show you with this is whenever you copy a worksheet, Excel automatically adds this incremented number here. So in this case, it's copy sheet 2, copy sheet 3. So in case you are creating copies of sheets where there are numbers involved, you can actually use a technique to make your work faster, which is to come here and have the number in the bracket. So let's say I have multiple quarters and I need to create a worksheet which is a copy of quarter one. So instead of writing Q1, I have Q and then 1 in brackets. And now when I create a copy, it would automatically be Q2 and then Q3. See what happens when I create a copy, it becomes Q2 and then Q3 and then Q4. Similarly, if you're talking about years, then you can have, let's say, 2018 in brackets, and now when I create a copy, then it would automatically be incremented by 1. So the next one I create is 2019 and 20 and 21 and so on. So you can use this technique in case your work involves where you have to create multiple copies where there is this incrementing number involved. The fourth trick that I want to show you is to insert columns or rows in your existing data set. So here I have this data set and I want to insert a column to the left of these existing columns. So to do that, I would first come here and select column A, then I would hold the control key and then select column B, C and D. Now remember, you have to do this individually. You cannot select all these at once. You have to first select the first column, then hold the control key and then make all the remaining selections. Now once you have done this, right click on any of these selected cells and then click on insert, and as soon as you do that, you would see that these columns have been inserted to the left of each of the existing columns, the one that you selected. Similarly, if you want to do it with rows, you can do that. So let's say I want to insert a row above row 5 and row 9, 12 and 16. I would select these, right click and then click on insert, and as soon as I do this, it is going to insert these rows just above the row that I selected. And finally, I want to show you how to deselect cells once you have made the selection. Now, this is something which is new to Excel 2019 and Microsoft Office 365. So if you're not using these versions, whether in Windows or Mac, it's available in both the versions. But if you're not using Excel 2019 or Office 365, then you would not be able to do this. So what happens is, once you make a selection in Excel, it is not possible to deselect it. So let's say, for example, I make these selections here, and now I want to go back and I want to uncheck Q1. I want to deselect column Q1. I would not be able to do this. I would have to restart again. But with Excel 2019 and Office 365, you can now do that. You just simply hold the control key and then select again. And as soon as you do this, this would be deselected. So this is quite useful, especially when you have a lot of selections to make. So instead of actually making the selections, you select everything and then you deselect. So for example, in this case, if I want to select everything but deselect Q1 and Q2, I can simply come here, select this entire worksheet by clicking on this green triangle, and then come here and simply click on column E and column I. So everything is selected, but only column E and column I are not selected. So you can deselect your data after you have made the selection. So these are 5 really cool Excel keyboard and mouse tricks that you can use to save a lot of time and be a lot more productive. That's it in this video. I hope you found this useful. Also, if you're liking these videos, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so that you never miss out on any new Excel tips video I come up with. Thank you and have a nice day.